did get a text message along the way. No, most people don't.
Good morning. I'll be out. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be out.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, let's take a look at the outdoor unit. Someone got real creative with the insulation here on this ComfortMaker. 4-ton. You can tell by that 48 in the model number, production number. R410A refrigerant. Inside, yeah, not too shabby. Good old ComfortMaker. All right, ladies and gentlemen, system was off at arrival, so I went to the thermostat. I turned the cool to on, I lowered it to like 60, and that's going to force the outdoor unit on, the indoor blower on. We're going to do an operational check, make sure everything's running. The condenser fan motor came on, and we are discharging some warm air. So now we're going to kill power to the outdoor unit, and we're going to focus our attention outside. All right, while Gio is dissecting the outdoor unit, removing the condenser fan motor assembly, I'm going to get my chemicals ready for the cleaning of the coil. Got my coil gun here and my hose. Let's go find a hose faucet. Well, I know where it is. Let's just hook this up to the hose faucet, which is all the way in the back of the house. If there was a hose faucet nearby and connected to a hose reel, I'd ask the homeowner if I could use that, but it's too far away. All the way down there. So let's remove this. Make sure we put it back when we're done. Make sure you don't lose the washer either. All screws out. Let's try to.
Want to leave us in enough?
I would like to, but I don't think there's enough play on the wiring for the condenser fan motor. Maybe undo that bunch right there, and then we can just lean it against the wall of the house. All right, very carefully against the wall of the house. Let's vacuum up the debris at the bottom, and then we'll rinse this bad boy off. We'll take a visual observation of the corner over there and over there. Looks like we have excessive wear and tear, quite possibly from animal urine, but we'll take a closer look at that when we're done cleaning. Now, while Gio is rinsing, or sorry, while Gio is rinsing, while Gio is washing, damn, take two. All right, while Gio is vacuuming out the bottom of the outdoor unit, we're going to prepare the coil gun with the cleaner. I filled it up almost to the top with water. We're going to add some of this Viper brightener and cleaner to the solution. Not that much. That's plenty. I'm sure that's not really the right amount. I should probably use a lot less, but we good. Why don't you put that on the vacuum head and vacuum it out?
You have to take it out.
Oh, yeah, but that, okay. All right, I'm taking a look at the condenser fan motor. There it is, an oil packing ring. Well, it's no longer with us. We'll make note of that, let the homeowner know that that is going to be an issue in the future. You know, take that that insulation blanket off right now. Make sure we put it back on though when we're done. Cool. All right, get rid of that vacuum. We got great water pressure here. I love it. It'll give us a good rinse. garbage from the bottom. Loosen up all that dirt. Alright, let's wash the coil with the chemical. We're forcing the chemical with the water through the coil from the inside out. Nice, slow, easy passes. Get the bottom a little bit. Carefully on the fan blade and the exterior a little bit. We're going to let this sit. Almost done. Beautiful. All right, to keep my coil gun in good working order, I rinsed it thoroughly with some water. Now I'm just going to let the water spray out of it. Stay. There you go. Let that run completely through. And while we're doing that, I'm going to take my brush and clean the bottom of the indoor. While that's rinsing water through the coil gun, I'm going to take my brush and clean the bottom of the inside of the condensing unit. All right, I used my brush and cleaned the inside of the unit. I think I got a lot of it. The drains are not draining too well, but we'll deal with that later.
Pretty dirty. Then I told him, and he was like, that he was gonna just leave it back in there until he gets a letter in.
Did you insist that you should leave it out until then? You did? Okay. He didn't like that idea? Oh. Okay. Did you what? You what? There's a lot of dirt under here. And that dirt is clogging our drains. Would be nice to get another piece of brick on there. Gio, I know you're trying to mean well, but be a good technician, be observing your surroundings, right? You're putting the screws back in, but what's that? Let's see if I get another brick. Here we go. And here. Gio, put it back down. All right, I have the entire base elevated off this pad with some broken brick. So now that will allow me to clear and clean the entire bottom of the unit. Now, with help of Gio, we're going to put this back up here. We're going to clean out the bottom and put the insulating blanket around the compressor for sound quieting. Where's that brush? Where's that little brush you're using? Oh. All right, much better. Now she clean. Just got the condenser fan motor up there. sure hold a lot of water. Make sure you keep your boots dry. All right, we discharged the capacitor, and now we're going to test.
I think it's 71. Condenser fan. Get nothing. Get a better connection.
All right, let's plug her back in. Hopefully Gio wired everything the right way. All right, compressor's running. Let's do the good old dollar bill trick. All right, blowing the right direction. We good. Sorry, I don't have any dollar bills. Below my pay grade. All right. Beautiful. All right, let's get a picture of the model and serial number for the invoice. And let's focus our attention on the indoor unit. Ah, okay, yeah, but say up and around. Like, where are you taking me? All the way down there, huh? All right.
That part, that's
The air handler.
the air handler.
Yep. Yeah, ductwork looks pretty solid for the most part. Very nice. All right, wait for Gio to get here. All right, let's go check out the air handler. I should have worn my knee pads today. This is good. Perfect. Watch how I take care of this drain hose. Watch this, folks. Yep, you know exactly what I'm going to do. I blew on it. Perfect. Now, let's look inside the air handler. Huh. This thing is missing a cover, and it's allowing all the air to suck in from the hot attic. We gotta get some tape and put that on there. Grab the spray 9 too and a rag. We got tons of the M word up here. Gio, we need some like duct tape. What? The duct tape? Yeah, in the milk crate. Should be. Unless there's none there because it didn't get replaced. Alright. We have an ECM motor there. We got that nasty M word stuff here. We're gonna get the spray 9, spray this down, and get it with a rag. All right. In the meantime, let's use the Viper pan and drain treatment. Get a lot of that in there. Beautiful. Gio didn't find the tape in the truck, so I used the electric tape. Shoot me. Not too shabby. All right.
Did he tell you who installed this?
The what?
Did he tell you who installed this?
No. All right. Let's get the cover back on. I really do hate the carrier covers. They are biggest pieces of garbage, I swear. The insulation never lasts. Ever. It sucks. Alright, turn the power back on. Now. That made that look perfect. And you just put the thing over it. A little bit of a wobble there. I wonder if there's anything in that blower wheel. But I checked. There's nothing there. A little bit of a wobble. That sucks. Alright, I normally don't hook up my refrigeration probes to a system during a maintenance visit unless I suspect there's a problem or I need to do some more due diligence on a system that I'm working on. I noticed what I thought was some UV dye around the service ports on the low side, and I said, you know what, let's check out the refrigerant. Even though we're discharging warmish air, I wanted to check out the refrigerant. And so there's our pressures, 116 and 280. We have a subcooling of 14.5 degrees, around there. Superheat of 7.6. Now we do have a TXV, and that subcooling is high, especially since the factory, where is it, indoor TXV subcooling should be around 8 degrees, and we are at 14.6.7. Based on everything I see here, that's indicative of an overcharge or flooded, or a condenser that's flooded, the condensing coil that's flooded, and that's exactly what this is telling me, the app. Now we have high subcooling, which is indicated by excessive subcooling occurs when condenser is flooded, and it's typically an indication of a refrigerant overcharge or refrigerant backing up to the condenser. One thing I'm not noticing is the filter dryer here. Interesting. So it's in that, it usually there's not a singular problem, but I'm gonna guess it's slightly overcharged. They added refrigerant when they had a leak, maybe, and added some dye, what have you. Maybe they fixed it, maybe they didn't, who knows. But we're going to screenshot this, and we're going to keep a record in House Call Pro. That way we can monitor this on a subsequent visit. But other than that, looks good. We're going to replace these plastic caps that's missing an O-ring with brass caps. And that's the reason why I don't like doing refrigeration circuit checks unless I suspect there's a problem, because you're going to lose refrigerant. Every time you put your probes on there and take them off, you lose some refrigerant. In this case, you can afford to lose some, but I'd rather not do that unless I suspect there's a problem. We're turning off all of our probes, because if we don't, the battery will die. I'll get it. A couple Nice new brass caps on there. Wonder why everything's insulated like that. Never seen something crazy like this before. That's crazy. All this silver foil and tape. Maybe they're scared of radio and TV waves.